Hi everyone, welcome to Beyond the Pale. Now today's video isn't going to be a long one. It's kind of a reaction to reactions. I want to talk about the Dickie suit in the Bloom article. It's being talked about a lot, understandably, and I've seen a lot of comments. I've seen other creators talking about it, and there were a few things that came up when I was commenting on Jules of All Trades channel, and I want to talk about that. Now, I love Jules of All Trades. I watch all her videos, and there's also a video Harsh did. I'd like to comment on that. So let's crack on. So first of all, I want to talk about Harsh, who put forward that the Dickies item of clothing could have been a gift for his dad. Now, I think there's a really strong possibility this could be the case. Why else would you keep a receipt and the tag in your drawer or wherever it was? Christmas was coming. It's the sort of thing you'd probably buy your dad if you wore Dickies items of clothing. We don't know if it was a shirt or a coverall. So yeah, strong possibility in my opinion. Now, one commenter did say, well, that's ridiculous. Why have they still got the receipt and tag in evidence? Why haven't they proved that it belonged to his dad? It was a gift for his dad. Well, let's think about it. Brian was arrested. He pleaded the fifth, I think, after about 15 minutes, allegedly. So he hasn't really been talking, has he, to law enforcement? They searched his apartment and they searched the parents' home. So if the tag and the receipt are in Brian's apartment and the item of clothing is in his dad's closet, it's not going to be that easy to piece together. Now, first of all, we have to assume there were a lot of dark clothing taken from the parents' home. So we've got to assume that they took every item of dark clothing that was male from the Pennsylvania home. So we've got law enforcement now taking these items of clothing and testing them for victim DNA or anything that can connect an item of clothing to the crime. If they found nothing, have they then discarded that information when perhaps questioning Brian's father? You know, have they asked him whether he received a gift from Brian for Christmas? Or have they just said all of these items of clothing in the Pennsylvania home have no DNA on and it hasn't come up? We like to think they're more thorough than that, are they? Perhaps it did come up in conversation. And if Brian's father said, well, Brian bought me a shirt from Dickies for Christmas, how can they prove that at this time? They've just got Brian's dad's word for it, especially if he's got other shirts in his wardrobe from Dickies. Are they going to just take his word for it and not put forward a Dickies tag and receipt as evidence? You know, are they going to not put it forward as evidence? Or is there nothing that matches the Dickies receipt and Dickies tag? You know, is there no item of clothing anywhere, whether it's in Brian's dad's closet or Brian's closet, that matches? Then that's a big question mark. But I hope they've done all the work to really make sure that there is no item of clothing in either wardrobe that matches that. I'm sorry, I'm just going to say this. I'm not 100% convinced that has been done. You know, this evidence has been put forward to indict Brian, and they wanted to get him indicted. So, you know, have they not matched an item of clothing? Have they not done that yet? Have they just put that forward to the grand jury and said, look, we've got this tag, we've got this receipt, we haven't got the matching article of clothing because they haven't matched his dad's yet? Do you know what I mean? So it's a possibility, I think, that that's what's going on. And had there been a preliminary hearing, maybe that would have been completely written off, and perhaps it could have been proven, look, this is the shirt, we can prove it's the style number, and this was in his dad's closet, this was in my dad's closet. So maybe the defence could have proved that at a preliminary, but we didn't have a preliminary hearing. We had a secret grand jury. So Brian has not had a chance to put anything forward like that. So, possibility in my opinion. I also want to talk about Jules's video about the use of the word uniform, and she very rightly says that uniform does not mean a head-to-toe outfit necessarily. It could be a baseball cap with a logo, it could be a shirt with a logo, but you can wear whatever pants you want. It does not mean that you have to dress head to toe in a uniform like a nurse or a doctor or a mechanic. You know, it doesn't necessarily mean that, and she's correct. But I have got to point out that yes, Bloom does use the word uniform, but he also uses the words suit and outfit. And that is why I think everyone has said, Jules, you're wrong. It's not a long sleeve shirt. It's a coverall, or it's a head to toe item of clothing. So, you know, I agree with Jules. I think, yes, you're right. Uniform doesn't mean that, but it's not just uniform that Bloom uses. He says something like, I'm not sure which way round it is, but maybe he stuffed this work suit into a garbage bag and threw it in the trunk, and then later says law enforcement could never find this work suit or outfit. So suit and outfit is more than a shirt to me. So I think we're none the wiser. We don't know what article of clothing this is. It could be either. And we can also ask the question, does Howard Bloom assume? Has he inserted suit and outfit because he's assumed that uniform means head to toe, or is he deliberately misleading? So, yeah, that's still up in the air as far as I'm concerned. Navy blue versus black. Now, there's really horrible commenters on some channels. They're like, oh my God, don't you know the difference between blue and black? LMAO. Well, actually, I worked in retail for years, and so many times I would take a customer to the front door, to a window, to show them an article of clothing in daylight because they could not tell if it was blue or black. Oh, is this blue or black? Can you tell me? And I'd say, come on, let's go and have a look. And then we'd be able to see in a certain light, because some navies are very dark, especially in particular lighting. So I really beg to differ here. If we're to take Dylan's statement as correct in the PCA, I think in the lighting that was no doubt on in the house, dim, I would say, she could easily mistake navy blue for black. I don't believe all the lights were on. If the lights were all on, I think he'd have seen someone opening their door. She'd have had a better description. I think there will have been some sort of dim lighting, whether it be fairy lights. Yes, that could easily have been mistaken for black. Or we've got an intruder clad in black and not wearing a Dickies outfit at all. So that's my thoughts on that. My other thing I want to bring up just before I go is the dumb criminal issue again. Is there really a chance that PhD criminology student Brian Koberger is going to discard a bloody item of clothing? He's going to buy it locally, keep the receipt, so he's got a trail of what he's bought, keep the receipt in his drawer. Is he going to buy the K-bar, you know, with a trail, like either on Amazon or in a local store, discard the weapon, keep the receipt, and then drive around town in his car, past all the cameras, and take a cell phone? Yes, I know you're a student, doesn't mean you've got common sense, but if you're studying this stuff and it's a premeditated attack, you are going to think about these things. You and I would. I'm no PhD student in criminology. I'm sure a lot of you are who follow this case. But I think Joe Blogs on the street would not leave all this trail behind them. I just don't. I think he's got to be particularly dumb. Maybe he is, I don't know him. But he's got to be particularly dumb to do all of this stuff that law enforcement are claiming he's done. Anyway, I'd love to know your thoughts. Thank you for watching. Thank you all for your support, and I will speak to you soon. Bye.